Hi, I'm Kristen R, and I'm interning at Taylor Elementary for speech pathology, which is like speech therapy. It's pretty much the same thing. And my mentors are Miss McKittrick and Miss Staples. They're both been at Taylor for quite some time now, but they're great mentors. My responsibilities, pretty much every day I take data for the kids whenever I listen to them speak and take data from them. And sometimes I teach for them. I'll go and kind of play some games, which is make learning fun. Play games with them and teach them. And sometimes Miss Staples or Miss McKittrick will ask me to go make some copies as the kids' homework. So I'll go and make copies, and I work with small groups in case there's a larger group, like maybe 6 to 8 kids. She'll ask me to go take 2 or 3 of the kids over in a different room and work with them. And I go and get the kids from their classrooms a lot of the times. So just like prior to the lesson, I'll go down and get the kids in their classrooms because it's not like a class. The kids come to the class at a certain time and we work with them then. So my amount of hours is I work 5 hours a week, 4 days a week, not on Fridays. And so far I've worked about 73 hours. But by the end of the time, I'll have 82 hours and 10 minutes.
Gotta count those 10 minutes.
Yeah. So for the future, I plan to pursue speech as a career, and I have researched into it, and there's only 5 colleges in Georgia with the major of speech pathology, and I plan to major in speech. So that's kind of what I'm looking forward to in the next couple of years, but I also plan to pursue it as a career. But I had some confusion before going into the internship, and I kind of, I cleared that confusion up whenever I talked with my mentors, and it helped me gain experience so that I know kind of what I'm going into. The hiring outlook, you have to be kind of a patient person and kind and understanding towards the kids or towards anyone you're working with, because you have to be understanding to what they're trying to say. And these are some salaries that I have researched, and it's $68,000 in hospitals and $58,000 in schools. And jobs are really in need for school systems, really anywhere you can do a private practice, but they're really needed for right now.
Yeah, I think there are like 12 current openings just for Gwinnett County for speech pathology.
So this is a graph I got. This is the projected growth of all civilian jobs, and then this is for speech language pathologist jobs. And these are some memorable experiences. There was a discussion that I had with one of my mentors, Miss Staples. She talked to me about the medical versus the educational fields, because she used to work in the medical field, but then she got married and had kids, so then she started going towards the educational field. But that really clarified, and the confusion helped me out and everything, so it kind of clarified things. And I've worked with small groups and special needs, because I work with regular ed and special needs kids. So that was kind of one of the things that I loved doing. And then I worked with Miss McKittrick's kids also. I switched days between the both of them. And then I got to sit in with an SLP meeting, which is speech language pathologist meeting. And so several different speech teachers from the cluster of Collinsville, because that's where my school is, but several different teachers came to a meeting, and they all talked about the speech language as a whole and what they could do to make it better and everything in that cluster. So that was pretty cool to sit in on. Some personal growth and learning experiences I thought were the RTI process, which is response to intervention. So these kids aren't completely in the program. They're just kind of kids who need help with some things that are lower in their subjects. So that's just something that I learned more. And then the pathological versus articulation. This is, whenever I first entered speech, I thought it was just pronunciation, but there's actually different categories, like the pathological or the phonological, which is understanding what people are actually saying, versus the articulation, which is the speaking and pronunciation. Then I talked to Ms. Staples about the medical and educational field. I learned the differences in pros and cons in those. And then the testing process, so it's kind of all verbal, like they test verbally to the kids, and sometimes they'll ask them to ask questions back, but that's pretty cool. And then there's a really cool sound chart for younger ages. And this is the sound chart. This is the age here, and then inside the age is the sounds that you're supposed to be making at those ages.
Oh, cool.
So, like, this is how they test maybe kindergartners or second graders, and they should be making those sounds. And if not, then they should be entered and evaluated in the speech process. These are my mentors. This is Miss Staples and this is Miss McKittrick. And I switch off days with them because I work with both of them. And this is a special needs kid that I work with, Brian. We were playing a game there and I was working categories with him. But he's cool. He has an articulation, kind of. He doesn't really understand what you're asking, like all the WH questions and everything, so we work with him on that. This is just closer up. And that's the little girl, Azaria. She's in the RTI program. She works on our phonological. She kind of doesn't really understand what you're saying either, but it's not completely to where she has to be in the program. So she's in the RTI. And this is Braxton. He just works on his S's. He's in the RTI process also, but he's cool. He's in kindergarten.
Cute. Awesome. Does anybody have questions? All right, thank you, Kristen. That's awesome. Yay.